your physique looks something like the middle shot here and you can't seem to drop any more body fat and get the six-pack that you truly wanted, this video I'm going to explain how you've probably overcooked your metabolism to the point where it's stopped responding to fat loss, but most importantly, I'm going to teach you how to fix it so you can get to the end goal point that you actually set out. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this each and every week, and we just speak about them online so you can apply them into your own training, because it is your birthright to walk around with an aesthetic body and a six-pack and a body you're truly proud of. So let's get straight into the video and discuss why it is you've overcooked your metabolism and how to fix it. Now, the concept I want to give you is you have essentially taken the approach of a starving child rather than that of an athlete. And this is how I like to frame this whole concept, which maybe you've heard before, maybe you haven't. How you got to that conclusion was you looked in the mirror and thought, oh God, I am well out of shape. I need to get in shape and I need to kind of do it quite quickly. So you opt from a space of fear and panic. And what do you do there? You drop your calories too low, too soon. The problem with you doing that is you haven't got the muscle where the body's actually going to respond to that level of a drop. And essentially, you're just starving yourself thinking, we'll just keep taking more and more food. The more I take, the faster it will burn body fat. But your body doesn't work like that. Your body will essentially, and this is the big secret, your body will respond to whatever you put it on. The problem is, after a couple of weeks and when it does adapt, you've got nowhere to go with it and your calories are in the bin. Another problem that you have is, not only do you think low calorie, you also think low carb. I can tell you right now, people have given carbs a bad rap. Carbs are the reason that you'll drive performance in the gym. Carbs are going to fuel your workout. You need carbohydrates. You need to keep your carbohydrates as high as you possibly can, because otherwise you'll have low energy. You're on low calorie, and you've got low energy. So that's two absolutely awful things. How do you think your body's going to respond to low energy and low calorie? Do you think it's going to welcome that with open arms? Do you think it's going to be like, oh yeah, great. You needed to burn this body fat? Sure. This is what we'll do. We'll just go really low, really early, and we'll take our carbs really low, so our dick don't even work, and we can barely train in the gym. That's the main issue. So you don't want to opt for the side of a starving child, because it is not going to do you any favors. You're going to run out of steam, and the pros, to be honest, like most of you will quit before you even can get any traction anyway, because it'll just be so painful and so miserable. You want to approach this by using cardio. A lot of you are not using cardio. You're just thinking, I'll just take from 2 to 8, because you hear the term calorie deficit, and that to you says, cut my calories down and just run with that. Whereas you want to take the athlete approach, because if you don't do cardio and you have poor output in the gym, guess how you're going to look? You're going to look like a marathon runner. Who here wants to look like a marathon runner? No one. No one wants to look like a marathon runner. You want to look aesthetic. You want to be able to have a decent set of muscle on you. You didn't come looking to look like a marathon runner. So don't take the approach of one. So we must understand that we want to use cardio. We want you to get stronger in the gym. We want you to become an athlete. Start to frame your approach and your transformation of that of an athlete rather than that of someone that's just trying to, essentially like Weight Watchers. That's what most of you are operating, like a middle-aged woman that's like, we'll just take the food really low. And that's how you're approaching it. It's not going to do you any favors, because the body's going to adapt to whatever you put it on. So you in this analogy, you've taken your food low. Now you're at 1,800 calories as a grown male, like midway through your transformation, still with fairly high body fat, and you've got nowhere to go with it. So you think, well, what do I do now? I can't keep taking my food lower and lower. And to be honest, you can try that. The body will just not respond. This is what I mean. When you overcook your metabolism, you essentially have got to the point where you've abused it to the point where it's not going to respond anymore. You're not going to see any drop off because you're eating too low of food. It's just in a pure survival mechanism state. So how do we fix this and where do we go from here? You want to take the athlete protocol approach. You now want to see yourself as an athlete moving forward, not someone that's on Weight Watchers or on fat loss. I don't even like to say, you're on a fat loss phase, even if it is technically a fat loss phase. You want to see yourself in the athlete phase. So this is the way we get results like this. Specifically this one, I took this approach, and specifically this one, I took this approach as well. When someone comes to me and they are, not not lean, but also not too fat either. You want to take the approach where you're going to sit just below your maintenance target and you're going to run that for a protocol of 6 weeks. Now, why are you going to do this? Because just by sitting at maintenance, there is a good capacity of food going in. Here's the big secret. Don't take your food really low. No. You're going to push your food up. I know what you're thinking now. Oh, but it's fat loss. Like, how could I push my food up? I've tried it on 1800, so it's not going to work on 2003. Yes, it is. Listen to me now. Sit just below maintenance. And then you're going to have enough fuel going in. What is that fuel going to be used for? Gym. Training in the gym, getting stronger in the gym. You're only going to build an aesthetic physique in the gym. You can diet till the fucking cows come home. It doesn't matter. You will not grow muscle. You will not look the way you want to look without solid gym performance. You must be getting stronger session after session after session, which if you're starting out in this condition, you absolutely can do. It's not till the absolute back end of a transformation that you may be fighting to hold the numbers. For the most part, you should be getting stronger, but you're not going to get stronger if you've got low food and low carbs. So you're going to sit just below maintenance for 6 weeks, train hard and aggressive in the gym. You're also going to run with cardio, 20 minutes of formal cardio per day, heart rate 120 to 130. This is going to now create the need, at that and 10,000 steps a day, create the need for the food. You need to create the need for the food. Why? Because when we've now primed your metabolism, if we start to pull away from that, now we're going to get responses. Now we're going to see drop-offs. Whereas in the beginning, your body has no reason, it's not primed and ready to start to see drop-offs because there's no demand for it to need more anyway. If anything, you're creating a demand for less. So we want to make it to the point where your body turns into a furnace. That's the goal for people like you, and especially if you've taken your metabolism into the bin, you want to up it to 6 weeks, run just below maintenance, and get the body to burn body fat. This is what we deliver inside the Gorilla Platoon. By the way, if you want to come join us inside the Gorilla Platoon, click the link, book a call, see if we're a good fit for you. If you want to come and join our brotherhood, and you like the drill sergeant mindset, which comes from my time in the army, then great, and we'll take it from there. So at this point here, we know that we're going to focus on getting stronger in the gym, and we're also going to implement cardio. With this, when I say you want to now approach this from an athlete mindset, what I want you to understand is, for the longest period of time, the reason you look the way you do, and allow me to give you like the athlete mindset, you look the way you do because for the longest period of time, you have stacked habits, but we'll call these rocks. So let's call these baskets, and we're going to put rocks inside the basket of the current version of you, how you see yourself right now. So this is the drinking on a weekend. This is the poor sleep. This is the hanging around with poor mindset people. This is the it's not my fault mindset. And then let's say you do one good thing, you eat enough protein to cover your daily allowance. Okay, so for the longest of time, you stacked rocks in the old version of you. So, of course, when you try to get in shape or you try to take the advice I've given you here, you will struggle to do so because you're moving away from who you are and your current self-image. That's a problem because you are comfortable in this. This is your identity. This is how you've put yourself out into the world. So I'm telling you now, don't live like you. If you want to look like this, or like the guys here, don't live like you currently do. Because it won't work. If you look at every starting photo, they're not where they want to be. And that's okay, because you came here for the knowledge. I'm going to give you the knowledge on how to actually fix this. We can tell you the specific tactics, and they work. Sit just below maintenance. Run that for 6 weeks. Then from there, start to push more cardio to drive more fat loss, start to pull more food, because then your body will actually respond and you'll get over the line. You'll get to the six pack like we achieved for this guy here. Most of you start out like this, get somewhere close to this, but can never get to this because of the reasons we spoke about. But the main thing we have to fix is we have to fix your actions within a 24-hour period, because we can give you the tactic. It doesn't fucking matter if you can't apply the actual principle and the mindset. And a little side tip, anything in life, if you only focus on a tactic, you won't get the result. But if you focus on underlying principles, you'll understand how you can actually, make real change. And I bet, mine is fitness. That's my, specialty. That's what I'm good at. For you, you've got your own thing. And you can probably relate to this where, you know the principles behind the field that you're in or why you've got to where you are, and you see other people when they come to you looking for tactics and quick wins, you know they're not going to stand the course and get the result. It's the same for me. Anyone that comes to the Gorilla Platoon and wants to be, quick in and out, like give me the tactic, it won't work. That's why when the guys join the Gorilla Platoon, I say, listen, we need to create the 2.0 version of you, the athlete version of you. And it's a full-on document and a lecture they'll do, and they'll send to me so I can see that they know who they're transcending into, which is what I'm now discussing. So we essentially want to remove who you are. We want to remove the bad habits that have made you, you. And what we want to do is now stack new rocks in the new basket of you. So if we were to level the playing field, because it's much easier to do less, it's much easier for you to stop eating the junk food than it is for me to start trying to get you to eat clean. It's much easier for me to tell you to stop going to the pub every week and sinking pints and instead just go for a coffee than it is to try and get you to do some extravagant fitness plan. So start by thinking of what do I need to cut out. Then start to think of who you need to become. So in this instance where we've said you want to live like an athlete, not like someone that's on Weight Watchers, because you're trying to take your old version of you. You go to the pub, sink loads of pints, eat food out that's not anything to do with your plan. And then you're trying to take this approach of, right, I'll just starve myself and get to the result. Of course, that's not going to work. We need to give you a new identity of who you're going to become so you can apply this to the plan and actually get the result. So your new identity is going to be that of an athlete. So I want you to think, how would an athlete live within a 24-hour period? The first thing he would have a grip on is his 24-hour period. So what you would do is you would script out a day in the life of the athlete version of you. This is, what time am I waking up? What time am I doing my first batch of steps? What am I doing at work? So you know what that is. I've already prepped my meals so I can have my meal here. I'm back in at work here. I've got scope to get to the gym here. I know what workout I'm doing because I've scripted it. From here, I'm going to also get my cardio in straight away. I might have a little bit of steps just to finish off here. I'm going to prep some food for the next day here, but actually what I'd like to see you do is you do this twice a week, prepping food, so it's not every day. Then I've also got my family time that I'm going to structure in here, and then I'm also going to go to bed at the same time that I did last night, so I get my 8 hours in bed. I can get 7.5 hours of actual sleep, 5 sleep cycles. That's enough to rest and recover. So you know what you're doing within a 24-hour period. That way, you can live in accordance with the athlete version of you because you've scripted it out. Again, in the 2.0 version of you document, this is what we make the guys do. Because we can tell you, this is the plan, go to do it. That's not enough. And that's not what we do at the Gorilla Platoon. We want to know, have you scripted it out? Are you in a position where you're actually following it? Because that's what's going to yield results. So, straight away, you would have increased your organization. Now, guess what happens when you say you're going to do something, but don't do it? What do? You lose distrust with yourself. You lack integrity for yourself. The same way, if I said to you, I'm going to meet you at 9 a.m. for coffee this Thursday, and I turn up 15 minutes late, you'd be like, this arsehole, I turned up 15 minutes late and wasted 15 minutes of my time. The second time, you'd be a little bit dubious about me being there at 9:15. If I'm not there again at 9 a.m., you're going to think this guy is an actual piece of shit, never turns up on time. The problem is, a lot of you have said you're going to do something and you don't do it. And therefore, your integrity with yourself and your ability to think that you'll follow through is going to, it's an issue, right? So, not only are we going to sort your organization out so you know how you're living, we're going to fix your integrity with yourself. So, in the beginning, although we're speaking about priming and fixing your metabolism, in the beginning, what we actually need to fix is just your ability to do 3 of these things that you said you were going to do. Said you were going to wake up at this time, said you were going to do steps. You also said you were going to do your 20 minutes of cardio as well. You did all 3 of those, great. You said you were going to do it, you did it. And again, if you need to start with just 3 things within a given day, start with just 3 things within a given day. Because I appreciate if we're asking you to do all of these things, obviously your work's your non-negotiables anyway, so you've got to do those. But if I can appreciate if you're try and do too much, it won't work. And we need to build the trust and the integrity with yourself first. So we start off with just a couple of points here. Obviously, if you come with inside the Gorilla Platoon, I'm not just going to put you on a plan where you only do 3 things. No, because you've literally got me with you to check in for accountability. So I essentially eat some of your frogs for you and make you, stick to more. But again, you're checking in with me for like, with personal accountability. So of course it's going to be higher. But this is if you're doing it by yourself. So we must understand that you've now developed your organization and your integrity, your ability to actually get the shit done. So we know when we're doing it and we know you're actually going to get it done. Now we can start to implement tactics. Now we can make sure we're sleeping 8 hours so that we're fresh, so that these two become easier. Because the main reason you won't stick to these two is because you're fucking sleep deprived. Like, you've heard the term, sleep's important, but like, let's put this into real terms. You can't stick to the things you want to do because you don't get enough sleep. It's not about, get 8 hours of sleep, because that advice is garbage. It's, you can't do the things you should be doing because you're fucking tired, and you don't even know you're tired. It's just that your brain is not allowing you to do these things because it's just not operating at the capacity it could be. Like, if you think you're operating at all right capacity, go and get an extra sleep cycle. Look how much better you actually could be. A lot of you don't understand your own potential, but you sacrifice it because you stay up on your phones looking at garbage rather than sleeping enough. I can tell you right now, if you can sleep better, your whole life will probably change. Just from this one tactic. We ain't even started on getting you a six-pack. This is just from you fixing your sleep. So, we do and approach this. The next thing we need to do is we need to develop our own internal self-respect. Because you will be challenged. You will have friends that will want you to go out and eat and drink. And we'll all hold hands together. And here's you trying to get in shape with your little gut. Okay? This is you trying to get in shape. They know you're now trying to get in shape. So what are they going to do? They're going to test to see, are you actually going to be that guy and get in shape? Or is this going to be another one of your episodes where you said you're going to do something and you're not going to do it? This is what they're testing to see. Are you going to be the guy that actually does the thing? So they're going to tempt you, have this drink, eat this food, come with us to this, skip your cardio, stay up late, and you're going to be tested. The only way you grow true respect for yourself is having your ability to say one word. Just one word. You know what it is? No. Your ability to use the word no is how you will respect yourself, and it is how you will go from looking like this to looking like this. Your ability to use the word no. Most of you are so afraid to say to the people around you, no. And I get it. It's a human primal desire to be part of a community, to be part of a tribe where you are looked after, respected, and have friends. So to say no to those people, you will already have an internal mechanism inside you that doesn't want to say no. I get that. I really, really do. But you need to grow a set of human testicles to say no to these people, to respect for yourself, to be dialed in on the plan. You can dip and avoid them if you want, but it's going to come to a point where you need to be able to say no to these people so you can actually stick to the plan. I can't express how critical it is for you to do that. And we'll call this stacking a rock in the basket of the new version of you, and self-respect goes up. Now, of course, you're going to have the tactics of like, you're going to eat a set amount of calories, which is just below maintenance. Your protein is going to be set to... It's your lean mass times 2.4 is the accurate reading that we want to be going off. But if, like for ease, we can just go off 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein for you for now. We know you're going to keep your carbs high. We know fats want to be 20% of the total target, and that's going to be your diet you're going to set. We know you're going to be structuring time for cardio, and you're going to be ticking that off. Why? Because the athlete version of you would be sleeping well, he'd be doing his cardio, and he'd be training really, really hard. So he'd also be logging his lifts and doing little things like this. So we can see now that you're starting to stack rocks towards the new version of you. You might have one old bad habit. What this then does is it changes the balance. So you're now sitting like this. If we've got old you and we've got new you here. Now, why do I draw this out? Well, because if we don't fix this, it will feel like a second job you trying to get from here to here. It doesn't want to feel like this. Like, realistically, we want to go full circle and use this as a vessel to become a better version for you. We don't want this to feel like a second job. But if you don't do the practice which I'm speaking about here, it will feel like a second job. Why? Because this is why you're not in shape now. This is why for the longest of time you've tried to get in shape and it's not worked. And it's felt like a second job. It's felt like you're swimming upstream towards the goal because for the longest of time you're trying to pull away from who you thought you were, your current version of self. Whereas we need to transform you into a new version. So if we do this, and you're now thinking you're an athlete, this is going to basically allow you to swim downstream towards the goal. Everything's going to align with this new character version of you rather than the old version of you. That's how we actually fix this issue. This is the main thing I instill within my members within the Gorilla 2. You are not here to starve, you are here to become athletes. Now, sure, there's going to be a time where your food goes lower for the last little bit to get the last bit of body fat off. But at that point, remember the whole purpose of this video was to uncook, was to fucking defrost your metabolism, which you've overcooked. That was the main aim for this video. And we do this by, and again, I'll leave you with the tactic, sit just below maintenance, run that for 6 weeks, train hard, do your cardio. Now when we start to manipulate the input and the output, then we get responses for the body, and that's how you fix essentially what's happened to your metabolism. But you need to frame it in the form of an athlete mindset, not in the form of how you've currently been doing things. So if you found this video of value and you want to come and join us in our brotherhood, great. There'll be links in the description. You can book a call. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you tomorrow.